Gonzalez, one of the founders of Rook, part-time visitor to the White Mountains. Don't hate me because I spend my time on Pine Top, but I have been to Shola. But like Rich, we like working small businesses. We like to see people succeed. We actually spend a fair amount of our time teaching and training. Not paid teaching, not paid training, not paid consulting of any kind, but actually talking to business owners that are saying, hey, I wear 10 different hats. I don't have time to do this all the time. How many of you in here, raise your hand, how many of you feel like you wear too many hats every single day? Raise your hand. Good. How many of you look at digital marketing and think, oh, I've got to be on a website and I've got to be on social media and I have to do all these 100 things, and your eyes just kind of glaze over like, I don't even know where to start? Raise your hand. Good. I've been doing digital marketing for 20 years and I still feel that way. But what we're going to cover today is hopefully some basics that, number one, will set you on an even playing field to any of your competitors. But then I'm also going to show you a system, a very simple system that you can use with 3 tools that you can use that are 100% free. It does not cost you any budget. Doesn't cost you any money out of your pocket to use these. I'll show you how to use them effectively and really amplify what you can do. We're going to talk a little bit of how to use AI. How many of you have jumped into the world and tested some AI stuff? How many of you enjoyed it? Okay, good. How many of you feel like you can use it effectively to market your business? Excellent. So we got a handful of people to know. If I say something you don't agree with, raise your hand and tell me. I'm okay with that because it's developing. We're going to show you how to use a little bit of AI, but I'm also going to show you towards the end something that AI is looking for. The key, biggest signal that AI wants from you, from your business, that will put you at the top of Google search, that will put you in the AI answers, whether somebody's using ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or whatever AI tool you like. This is how you surface and show up and become visible and become pointed to as the expert in what you do. So again, we're with Rick Digital. We'll talk about the tools that we're going to use here in a second. But first, let's jump into some of the basics for your Google Business Profile. How many in here have claimed and optimized their Google Business Profile? Okay. About half, roughly. Why, let me grab an answer for somebody. Why is a Google Business Profile important right now?
Because that's how they find you.
Okay. Let me ask another question. By the raise of hand, which is more important, your website or your Google Business Profile? If you think it's your Google Business Profile, raise your hand. Couple people. If you think it's your website, raise your hand. Couple people. A lot of people still eating. Okay. For a local business, your Google Business Profile is going to be key. How many of you have heard of no-click searches? Okay. Not a very common term. No-click search, in a nutshell, it means when somebody jumps on Google and they search for whatever they are no longer clicking through to your website. That is accounting for anywhere from 60 to 70% of search traffic right now. So all of those clicks that used to come to your website because they'd search for HVAC or a dentist or whatever service you offer, they'd find the list, they'd say, I like this website, click on it, find information to contact you or schedule an appointment. They went right to your website. Google doesn't need to do that anymore. They already have all your information. They're now presenting your business in their digital format, which is your Google Business Profile. They put that at the top, people see that, they find the one they like, great reviews, click, and they call right there. So your Google Business Profile is going to show up ahead of your website 99% of the time. That's how valuable they are. Google Business is now your front door. It's your first impression to all of your potential clients. So let's jump in here and go live really quick. I want to cover just the basics. You have, how many in you here know Laura? Laura, what's your specialty?
Supposed to be marketing.
Okay, but what did you tell me? Google Business Profiles,
Small-
right?
Well, small business is my specialty.
Okay.
Small business development.
And you're good at helping people set up their Google Business Profiles, optimize them, okay? I'm gonna go through some of this quickly, basics, so you know this is the level playing field. You need to reach this level to be on the same field as everybody else, to have a fighting chance. Then I'm gonna show you how to jump way ahead of your competition. So let me jump out of here, and we'll go over here. So when you get on Google and you're logged in, you pull up, you search your business, this is your profile that shows up. So these are the basics you absolutely have to have. Number one, your profile information. A little slow. Make sure every tab in here, your About tab and everything it asks, contact, location, your hours, and then you can add some additional in there. Make sure you've done all of that you can. Most important will be number one, your business name, and then your business category. How many of you have multiple categories selected under your business? Raise your hand. Okay, good. If you don't have multiple selected, the first thing you should do this afternoon, jump on your Google Business Profile, and when you click in here to edit, you start typing in another service you offer, and Google will pull up the options you can choose for categories. You can have up to 10. Choose the categories that fit your services as specifically as possible. That opens the door to hundreds of more searches every single month. Okay? So make sure you fill that out. Your description, fill it out as completely as you can, and focus on talking about the services you offer. Mention by name the areas that you serve, the cities, the neighborhoods, or anything like that. Mention by name, or talk specifically about the experience you have. Google wants to know about your experience, what makes you an expert. They also want to know what kind of experience will your client have. Those go hand in hand. So talk about that in your description here. Fill it out as much as you can. Make sure your contact information is up to date. How many of you have included your social profiles into your Google Business Profile? A couple. That is going to be key, especially for showing up in AI. The more you can tie your Google business page, your Facebook, your Instagram, TikTok, whatever socials you use, the more you can tie those together, the bigger footprint you're creating online. So think of it like this. How many of you have played Monopoly? Probably most everybody. How do you win at Monopoly? Buy. You control the most spaces on the board, right? You're basically making a bigger footprint around that board than any of your competitors. By tying your website to your social media and putting blogs out there and more information, you're creating a bigger footprint that's going to crowd out your competitors. Okay? So if you don't have socials on here, there's number two. Go add in whatever social media accounts you have right there. Just copy and paste, and you're done. That by itself will give you another boost. Now, the second most important thing is going to be reviews. How many of you are good at asking for reviews? Okay. How many of you feel it's kind of awkward to ask for a review? And how many of you just forget? Yeah, pretty common, all right? Reviews, so in Google's system, reviews for a local business have a huge impact. There's three things you want in reviews. Quantity, so the overall number. Consistency, how often you're getting them, and then your score. Okay? You want to be above 4 stars is good enough these days. So make sure you're getting reviews. Google will actually provide you with links. See if it'll pop up here quickly. They'll give you a link that you can drop in an email. They'll give you a QR code that you can hand out for people to scan. Any way you want to get it out there to people, please ask for reviews. If you are, let me give you an example. I worked with a pediatric dentist a few years ago. They had 8 reviews. The competitor across town, the highest ranking in their market, had over 300 reviews. thought, we're never gonna catch up to them. How can we possibly beat him? Well, remember, consistency is part of reviews. What we looked at was his competitor that had a few hundred reviews. In the last 6 months, he'd only collected 2 or 3. The bulk of those reviews had come a year ago. So we set up a process to start collecting reviews. 3 months later, he was up to a little over 60 reviews. But he was getting consistently about 1 a day. Not a lot, right? And 60 compared to more than 300, not a real comparison. But here's the thing that happened. Reviews are measured inside Google system. How often you get them, what they say, how many words are contained in that review, and what the star rating is. If you are getting them consistently, that is the equivalent of putting out a piece of social media that goes viral and takes off. Google, any kind of algorithm online, they love patterns. By getting consistent reviews over time, you're creating a pattern. And suddenly this pediatric dentist with only 60 reviews dominated his market, knocked the guy with over 300 reviews off the top, pushed him out of the top 3 actually. And this guy owned the market for 25 miles around because he was consistent with reviews. That was the biggest thing that we changed for him. Okay? So make sure you're working on reviews, and if you have reviews, go in and reply to all of them. Every review is an opportunity to promote your business and to look good. Photos. Under photos, there are multiple categories of photos. You've got your business, your services, your team, your work environment, the building you're in, whatever. My recommendation is a minimum of 5 photos, and these don't need to be professional photos. This is just you snapping something on your cell phone and posting it. 5 photos at least for each category. Okay? Once you've got 5 in there, that hits a certain threshold Google's looking for. You'll see another increase in your rankings. You'll see more visibility. You'll see more phone calls coming into your business.
Paul, what do you mean by category? 5 per category. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so in there, as I mentioned, you've got different categories. You've got your team category, so 5 different pictures of your team. You've got your office space. Give 5 different pictures of your office space, interior, exterior, whatever. So the categories Google gives you underneath photos, 5 for each one. Okay? Any other questions in there? Sorry, I'm going through this pretty
I
quick.
never see any categories when you apply the photos to Google.
I'm trying to show you here. So you can see here you've got a cover photo, you've got a logo. Where is it? It's loading a little bit slow. It may not be listed under here under the photos. Sorry, they moved some of this, but there are multiple categories. I'll find it and I will get that information to Sunshine so that she can get out to everybody. Oh, and so you know, this is being recorded. Don't feel like you have to be scribbling down notes really fast. This will be recorded and posted online, available to you. It will also have a PDF outline of everything we talk about and the tools that we're going to use with checklists that you can follow that simplify everything. So you don't have to be scratching down notes and don't worry about missing anything. Just listen, and if you have a question, raise your hand. Okay, so fill out the photos and then post. This one is going to be a big one. Whoever feels like they've fallen victim to the good old boys club, you just weren't in it. You lost out on business. Okay. Happens to everybody at some point in time. Google, in spite of how often they say they don't do this, Google has the good old boys club. If you use Google systems, they treat you better. If you pay Google to run ads, magically your website ranks better too, even though they say that's not true. But every time we run a test and we run even $5 worth of ads for a client, the website magically jumps up in rankings again. So using your Google business profile is going to be key, and you have here posts. Posts just like you do on Facebook. This is Google's direct answer to compete against Facebook and social media. And this is going to be valuable. Why would you want to be using the Google posts? Please.
Everyone has or likes Facebook.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Not everyone has or likes Facebook.
Very good point. That's true. Why else can you use posts?
let people know what you're doing.
Yeah, so they know what you're doing.
Isn't it part of the actual page so it's visible, like from Google Maps, and you click on the profile, you can say post people talking about it, what's going on, we're running a special or whatever?
Yeah, down here, you'll see the posts showing up right there. But every post does something. It increases your digital footprint, it takes up a little more space, but it keeps you relevant. It keeps you fresh and up to date. Every website on the planet, Google is going to look at it similar to a news site. And how would you feel if you jumped on to check the news and it was 3 months out of date, or 6 months, or 8 months? Not very useful, right? Well, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Google knows that websites aren't going to be updating stuff constantly, not in every industry. But the more often you do that, the more often you prove to Google, hey, I am relevant, this is what we did last week, this is what we're doing this week, this is what's coming up next week. The more you provide, the better it'll work.
Is that related directly only to content or manipulating your SEO?
Everything.
So both?
So both, yes. Yeah, every time you post, well, we'll get into how to post to Google Business in just a minute, right? But those are gonna be the main things that you do. The last key that you can add constantly that ups your game with Google a little bit and helps you beat out your competitors will be just additional photos. Add a couple of photos every week. Add one a week. Something like that. That shows you're active. You're putting new content into the Google system. They'll credit you for that and it'll expand your reach. Okay. Questions on that so far? There are no bad questions.
Let's say that I just took over for someone and I don't know how to access my page. How do I get to it?
Do you know who was running it before?
No,
Do you know who owns the page?
no.
Was anybody on it? It might not even be, nobody might have ever done anything with that.
Okay, you can go in and request access. It's a little bit of a process to go through, but grab me after and we'll get into that. You'll just basically have to re-verify it and give it your email as the access point, and then you can get in and do everything you want. But grab me and we'll go into that and I'll explain the steps and show you. It's not that hard, it just takes a little bit because Google can be finicky sometimes. But, good question, get in.
You can get bad reviews.
Can you-
Something bad, you can do it to increase your reviews.
Something,
Do something wrong about reviews.
if you get bad reviews,
No, not about review for you, what we're talking about right now, the post, I mean.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Can you put a bad post on Google?
Oh, can you put a bad post?
If can it happen, or what not to do?
What not to do? A one-line post. Doesn't contain much information, doesn't really add anything to the conversation. I wouldn't do that. Apart from that, it's really hard to go wrong posting on Google or posting on any social media.
How about an image taken from the website saying we're running a certain special? I mean, there's no text, it's just an image posted on the posts.
Yes, I would add a little bit of text. A subhead, this is the offer, and then you can always include a button, learn more, get offer.
Like a hyperlink,
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty easy. There's no hyperlink, they just let you choose the button you want.
I see.
Yeah, but then you can put in, I want this button to go to this link, tell it where to go. Yeah, so you can use the hyperlink. But yeah, good question. It's really hard to put up a bad Google post. The fact that you're being active always works in your favor. Okay? Any other questions regarding Google Business Profiles? Is anybody getting value out of this? Does this feel like you're being fed a whole ton of information and you're not remembering a lot of it? Okay,
I promised you gobbledygook.
we have more gobbledygook coming up. Laura?
Just a comment that one of the things that we tell businesses to do is always keep their hours of operation updated. Because
Good.
that's a really
Especially
pain
during
point for-
holidays.
Yes. That is a pain point for customers.
Mhm.
Here's one other little trick that I'll use with clients. What are normal business hours? What do you consider normal business hours? 9 to 5, 8 to 5, pretty standard, right? What do all your competitors put as business hours? 8 to 5, 9 to 5. What happens when it gets to be 5:05 and somebody needs your business, but your hours on your Google business profile say 5 o'clock? You're listed as closed. Consider updating your business hours to say you open at 7:50 and close at 5:15. You'll snag some extra phone calls. I guarantee you. Every time we make that update for our client, within weeks, they've found a few new customers or clients because their hours left them available for a few more minutes when everybody's wrapping up work and, oh, I've got to make that call. Go ahead,
Cindy,
Cindy.
what if you do after hours appointments? Is there any way to note that online as well?
I would just keep my hours open up until the point you stop taking appointments. So if you'll do after hours, 24 hours a day, you can check the box that says you're open 24 hours a day. I would just leave it at that. I mean, easiest way to solve that problem, you'll pick up phone calls. Worst case scenario, you get phone calls and you say, yeah, we're not available right now. All right, it's not gonna hurt you.
Well, the worst of that would be, they would show up at your business and you're not there.
That's the piece.
You're assuming they're gonna call. They might show up and go, where are you? And she
True.
said she might not be there.
That's
Is
true.
there a way around that?
You can adjust in your settings, it has by appointment only. So if you know after hours you're not gonna be there, but you are taking phone calls, you can put by appointment only, but then you leave your hours at 24. It'll still make it available to call, and it'll still list you as open, but then when somebody pulls it up and they see the listing, it'll show by appointment only. So they're not, hopefully, they don't just drive straight there. And they'll think, I better call first.
Can you help us with that after this?
You bet.
We tried to figure that out.
Of course. Laura, go ahead.
Can you help with businesses that want a Google profile, but they don't have a brick and mortar? They maybe work from home or they're virtual, they don't wanna put the home address, how they handle the location?
Yes, that is an excellent question. And this is a problem everybody has. There's two things to keep into account. Number one, if you're working from home but you go out and serve people in their locations, you don't really want somebody knocking on your door. You would list yourself as you set up your Google business profile. You put in your address, but then you check a box that says, I am a service area business, an SAB. Google now knows you don't want people showing up at your address, and they don't show your address publicly online. Now, Google will also say a service area business that hides its address will rank just as easily and just as well as any other business that shows an address. That's according to Google. That is gobbledygook. It is
Can
not
you show
true.
it? Can you
So,
show where to do it?
I can show it after, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would do it right now, internet's a little bit slow, but I'll show you after. So you just mark it as a service area business. You still have to put in your address so Google can verify you, but it's hidden publicly. It won't be shown. Right.
I have an event
Okay,
that only happens for 3 days, once a year.
okay.
And yet, if I put in hours, it comes up as I'm open those 3 days, every weekend, all year long. How?
That's a good question. I haven't run into that.
Temporarily close it and then reopen it right before you go back.
Let me look into that. There might be
And
a
I haven't been
way.
able to claim my event either.
Hmm.
I've looked into Google, they don't want events on there. They want brick and mortars or services, and that's why you have to trick it.
Do you have a website?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk after. There are some things you can do to show up. Google, she's right, Google doesn't necessarily service events. This is meant for a constantly operating business. But there are some things you can do on your website to promote an event and get yourself into Google's system so they know when you're up and coming and the time frame of that event every year that will help bring you up so you're really visible leading into the few weeks before your event. Okay, good. Excellent questions. If there's something you want to know that's valuable to you, please ask. Good here? All right, let's move on. Okay, so once you have established your Google business profile, you've got the basics in there, now you need a competitive advantage. How do you make sure your profile stands out above all of your competitors? What are you going to do? Well, there's something very important to Google that they really love, and it's information. Google's mission is to organize the world's information, make it easily findable. The better they are at organizing information and valuable information to the person doing the search, the more money Google makes. So your job is to give Google what they want. We want to give them that information. So when somebody asks any question regarding your business, you're the go-to answer. Here's a few stats about it. Average customers spending 11 hours a day seeing some form of digital media. That is a lot of time with ads being pushed in your face. The vertical distance somebody scrolls in an average day, 30 stories. That is a lot of scrolling past ads. And then we talked about this one, 50% or more of Google searches end with no click. That means they're not going to your website. They found the answer already on the results page of Google, and they've made their decision there before they ever land on your website. Hopefully, they're seeing your profile and getting that answer.
Is that metric including like all of your ads driving towards a landing page, so your meta ads and all that kind of stuff? Visual ads.
The no click?
Yeah.
No.
So that's not including that side?
No, this is pure organic search.
Okay.
So when somebody jumps in Google and they search dentist near me, restaurant near me, that's this. Your ads, the paid ads that you run, completely different ecosystem.
Right.
And you can track clicks on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's going on. Okay, good question. All right, so with all of this media being pushed in front of people's faces, they're making really fast decisions. Please.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, you calling them in? She's looking for you back there. Okay. Your local searches, this is where Google Business comes into play. 76% of searches are local based. They're looking for somebody near them providing goods or services, right? People that search, 76%, they visit one of the businesses they found within 24 hours. And 28% of those searches turn into business within 24 hours. So that's a really quick turnaround. Recouping all of those lost clicks that happen with no-click search primarily is going to happen through your Google Business profile. The top three, they call it the Maps Pack. When you do a search and you see Google's little map at the top that shows 3 businesses and the map and where they're located, that's the Maps Pack. Those 3 businesses gather up about 70% of search traffic. We call that the local gold mine. If you can get your business in the 3-pack, you are positioned now where you have eliminated all of your competition except for 2 other businesses. It's you and 2 companies, so 3 of you total, competing for 70% of the new traffic coming into Google. That's where you want to be.
And that's algorithm based, not paid?
Algorithm, yes.
Wow.
That is not paid. You can pay to get into the Maps Pack, but even then, your pay-per-click, click-through rate is somewhere between 2 and 3%.
And it always says sponsored anyway.
Yeah. So this is all 100% organic. This is not traffic you paid for. Let's jump up. So the sales funnel has changed. No longer are they doing a search, looking for websites, clicking on the site, reading information, and then contacting you. It's a little bit different. Google has updated. They're providing helpful content that they feel is reliable, that best answers the question that person has put in. They're looking for trust signals. So here's your shift. The algorithm is going to ask 3 things. Is this content I'm seeing, is it real? Is it helpful? And is it from an expert? So how do you prove that to Google with the information you put out? Any ideas? Give me a wild guess.
Make sure your information's accurate.
Yes. How many of you have used an AI tool and gotten an answer you know was wrong? Yes, that has happened quite a bit. So that's a very good one. Make sure you have good, accurate information. Let me ask you a question regarding that, the accurate information. If you hire an agency like us to work for you, is that information always going to be accurate? No. We're good at what we do, we're not usually good at what you do. So if you're using an agency and they're producing content, definitely take the time to review that content. Hopefully it's done great, but you would be surprised how often glaring errors get through and make that business owner feel pretty dumb when it's pointed out. So don't rely 100%. The best relationship with your agency is going to be consultative. You're going to be involved in the content saying, hey, I like this, that's not good, we don't even do that, adjust this, we call it something else. Be involved. Don't write them a check and then disappear, because that happens a surprising amount too. Okay, so what we want to do is show you how to be very efficient using the two tools so that you write something for your blog that gets your expertise out there, and then you're going to expand on it. You're going to amplify that. So when we talk about AI, artificial intelligence, a lot of people look at that and say, oh, well, AI, we don't need marketing anymore because AI will do it. Well, that's not true. Artificial intelligence it got rid of the lazy marketers, but it made the good ones more efficient, much better. This is how you use it for you. These three tools, how many of you have one of these accounts? Zoom, ChatGPT, or Google's Notebook LM? Okay, how many of you use them on a regular basis? Okay. I'm going to show you very quickly how to use it in a structured format that will amplify your voice, present you as an expert, and we can take, well, let me ask this question. My business partner here is a writer. I hate writing. My other business partner is a writer too. He's a stickler about a lot of stuff. If he knew that I was here presenting today not wearing a Rook digital polo, he'd probably have a seizure.
He's Oxford comic guy.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's exactly right. How many of you in here feel like you are writers? Okay, a few people. You are or you aren't? If you are, this just makes it easier. If you aren't, this makes it easy to be a writer. Okay? How many of you like to sit down and type information out, write a whole article, fine-tune it? DJ is weird. The rest of you guys are normal. Okay? It's not always the easiest thing to do, but we're going to show you how. So Zoom is going to capture your expertise. ChatGPT is going to turn your expertise into written content, and then Notebook LM is going to act like your research assistant and produce awesome visuals for you, awesome graphics and videos and stuff. So, number one, if you do not have a Zoom account, you can go sign up for a Zoom account for free. It limits you to a 45-minute meeting or recording. So you're going to sign up for a Zoom account, whatever email address you want. Here's step number one. And it may follow this exactly. I might be a little bit off script, but listen to me and not my slides. So,
If I may interrupt, is Zoom, are you talking, is that the only platform, or use something like Fireflies or
you
one
can
of
use
those?
any platform that'll let you record.
Okay.
So the idea is, if you're not a writer, sitting down and writing can be tedious and boring and hard and make you want to pull your hair out. This is what you're going to do. You're going to create a free Zoom account, set it up for yourself. You don't need somebody else on there. You can record yourself. So you're going to record yourself sharing your expertise, right? You're going to talk to Zoom just like you're sitting down with a friend at coffee saying, hey, this one service, how does that work? What do you guys do there? You're going to explain it just like you do for a friend, okay? You're just going to talk right into it. Might feel a little bit weird talking into the camera and seeing yourself, but after you do it a time or two, it's easy. So you're going to go on, before you record yourself, look at all of your competitors' websites. Say, what do they have for frequently asked questions? What do they have customers asking them all the time? Jot down a handful of those. Look at your competitors' Google business profiles and see what questions and answers have been put on their profile by potential customers. You're gonna copy all those questions down. Come up with, I don't know, 10 to 20 different questions you can ask yourself. And you're gonna turn on Zoom and you're gonna start talking. Question number 1, how often should I get my hair cut? Or how often do I need new tires? How often should I change the oil in my vehicle? Do I need my furnace serviced? Whatever it might be for your business, state the question and then give it a short, concise answer and then expound on it like you're talking to your buddy. Well, here's the reason why people need to do it. More importantly, this is what they should really be asking themselves, and here's what they need to know. If they knew what I knew, this is the question they'd want to ask and the answer that I would give them. Go in depth. Now, how does this help you? Well, the video is awesome. There are a lot of tools that can cut up video for you. But more importantly, Zoom is going to record all of that and it transcribes that. It'll put that into a document, a written document of your conversation with yourself. Okay? That's the first piece of the puzzle. It's going to take your voice so that you can use it in AI. That way the information you produce sounds like you. Doesn't sound like garbage out of an AI tool that anybody could do, but it sounds like you. It becomes the expert because you're training it. Okay, number 2, you're going to take that transcript that Zoom will email to you, you're going to save it as a PDF, and you're going to drop it into your ChatGPT. Okay? Goes into ChatGPT, and now you can give it a really simple prompt, something like this. Hey, ChatGPT, draft an 800-word blog and 3 social posts and 3 Google business updates based on the text I just gave you. Suddenly, your writing is done in seconds, and it sounds like you. It is now speaking as from the position of an expert because you trained it on your voice and your knowledge and your business. Okay? If you want to upscale this a little bit, you can say, use this transcript and base it off of my website, which here's the URL to my business. And it'll pull information from your website about your business and the services you offer. You can even say, this is my website URL and here are my social media URLs. You can add all of those in. But you're training ChatGPT to work like you, to sound like you, to use the words you use to describe the services or products that you offer to the people around you, things that they want to hear. Okay? Once you have that in there, the first thing you're going to do is it spits out a blog. You're going to take that blog and you're going to add it to your website. Okay, you want it on your website first.
This is probably more of a ChatGPT question, but so per post or per prompt, it'll ask, it'll just adopt the transcript, the voice through the transcript, as opposed to saying, hey, for all the next blog posts, I want you to reduce the cognitive load by 30% or what have you.
You can. That's a ChatGPT thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't even worry about that most of the time.
You just put the transcript in.
It's more than enough power to give me everything I want. It won't bog down, and it'll produce pretty good content. So, spits out a blog for you, a bunch of small posts to go on GBP and Facebook. You want to edit those, stick it on your blog first. That way it shows your business, your blog, you as the creator. Second, you put it on your Google business profile, and then you push it out to all your social media. You can schedule, I believe you can schedule when posts go live. You can in Google business profiles. So you can schedule 2 weeks worth of Google business profiles in 2 minutes based on what it spits out from your answers. I think you can also do that with Facebook, probably Instagram, TikTok, all of those. But you've edited it, you put it out there, and you're ready to go. The last thing, with Notebook LM, take your blog, dump it into Notebook LM and say, based on this blog, create for me an image unique to my business and the information I'm talking about in this blog. Hit click, 30 seconds later, it will produce a very high quality image that is 100% unique to you and your business that's going to look really good. Pull that out, add it to your blog, do the same thing for your social posts. Now you've got written content, you've got video content, you have social media content, you have images. I'm not sure on the free version of Notebook LM. But you can also ask it for an infographic if you're explaining a detailed service. You can ask it for a short explainer video, and it will produce all of that, and it does a surprisingly good job for free. Everything we've just gone through right here, first time or two, it might take a little bit to get it down. But once you've gone through the process a couple of times, all of this, from start of find the questions, record yourself, dump it into ChatGPT, dump it into Notebook LM, push it out through your blog, GBP profile, other social medias, all of that can be done in less than 30 minutes. That will give you content, depending on how many social media posts or blogs you ask for, that could produce content for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months in 30 minutes. Just that fast. Now, was that a lot of ground to cover right there? I see a bunch of people taking notes, jotting. This whole recording will be posted online for you guys with the PDF, the slideshow, everything. So everything we've covered here, you'll have access to it early next week. I'll tell Sunshine when it's all up and live so she can let everybody know. Come on here, find everything that you want to know. And then you can always reach out to us with any more detailed questions like some of you have. Okay, so your Google Business Profile is your new homepage. Your local pack showing up in that Maps pack right there, that's the #1 position you want to get to. That's going to come primarily from your Google Business Profile being used. Adding photos, adding posts, adding images, being active on that regularly. So, yeah, don't have anything under 3 stars. Here's your program we just went through. Okay, I mentioned earlier that algorithms, Google, they love patterns. Do this for 90 days and watch what happens. You're establishing a pattern. You're becoming the go-to business in your industry for your market because you're being consistent. And that's literally done in 30 minutes or less once a week. Does that sound valuable for you guys? Does it sound doable? Let me ask that. How many of you can jump on here and research your competitors and find a bunch of frequently asked questions? How many of you can sit down in front of Zoom for 30 minutes and answer those questions in detail to yourself? Everybody here can, right? And then just follow the steps. Dump it into ChatGPT.
I tried to put the question and answer on my business, and I cannot find the option for it. And I search a lot, and it says I'm an electrician, so it says they don't give me the option.
So Google is always testing things, and depending on certain markets or industries, at certain times, sometimes you can add questions and answers. Other times it will prohibit you from adding those as the account owner. You would have to sign out of your account, get into a different email account, go into that business as if you were a visitor and add a question. And then you can go back in as the owner and answer it.
I'll try hard.
Yeah, why they do that, I don't know. Probably to keep people from manipulating rankings and such. But on occasion, I can jump in there and add whatever questions and answers I want. And on occasion, it's like, nope, locked, you can't do that. It has to come from a potential customer. Okay, let's skip ahead. Let me check time. Sorry, I don't want to keep you guys too long. About 5 minutes?
5 minutes?
All right, we're just after 12. Skip that. All right, so I mentioned to you that there is a signal AI is looking for. It is the most powerful signal you can send. It's what puts you in AI. Now, when you show up in AI, if you get on ChatGPT and say, I need to know this information, it gives you an answer, and it will cite, oh, here's this bit of information from this person. When you become that person that is cited, suddenly, whether your answer is right or wrong, you're the expert. The person who read that, like, oh, AI gave me that answer, this person must know what they're talking about. They picked the best person on the planet. Hopefully the answer is right. We know sometimes it's not. The person that showed up, though, isn't the best on the planet. They're sending the right signal. And that right signal makes rankings jump dramatically. This is one of our clients that we put it on. Here's another client that we put it on. Same signal. Here's another client that we put it on. Going from an average of 400 rankings a month up to over 2,200 in an incredibly short space of time one page that we added very specific signal to that AI wants to see. Who wants to know what that signal is? Who wants to know how to manipulate AI to your benefit? Okay? There you go.
Can you send me that copy of the source code, please?
There is your gobbledygook that Rich talked about. That's exactly what it is. It is just another form of computer programming language, structured data. Are you familiar with structured data?
The source code, you mean, or?
No. Specific
that's
structured data like JSON, LD? Schema?
Conceptually, but not. yeah.
Okay, all right. So, Google, just so you know, search engines absolutely love this signal. It clarifies things for them. They look at your site, oh, we have no doubt what they do. Let's put them at the top. You've just built massive trust. AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Grok, whatever tool you use, they rely 100% on this code to figure out what your web page is about. That page that offers whatever service, they're trying to decipher that. This code acts as the translator and explains, hey, the information on this page written in HTML, we translate it, here's the clear signal, AI loves it, you become the expert, and that's how you end up with rankings that suddenly jump, just like that.
So I've broken ChatGPT a bunch of times. You know what happens? It loses its focus on that structured data.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you can break
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But this, the structured data, should speed up that process and clarify everything. It won't break ChatGPT. It'll have the opposite effect. They'll look at it and be like, oh, finally somebody I understand. They'll pull your data and they'll start citing you because you send a nice clear signal.
So you're saying you have to take your information from your website and translate it into HTML, the structured data?
What you're doing is you're adding a new layer over the top of everything on your site, which is structured data, this. Okay? This will give you a massive light-year leap ahead of your competition. Okay?
But what if you don't speak that secret language?
Then you can call Rich and ask him to translate. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll make a deal with you. Well, let me ask you first. Let me go back here. Have any of you gotten value out of this information? Has it been worth your time to be here?
Yes.
Okay. Have any of you gotten something that you think, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go do that next, that piece or this other piece. Something actionable you can take.
Yeah.
Wonderful. If you feel like this has been useful and valuable to you, if it sounds like I kind of know a little bit, but Rich is the trustworthy one, and you would like us, I will create a custom page of this gobbledygook for your website, for your homepage on your website.
That's cheating.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough?
There you go. Here's what I would ask in return. If you have found us useful, would you leave us a review and say something that we provided of value, that we did? All right, so we will have the replay up. We will have a PDF that gives you step-by-step of everything we've talked about, resources that you can refer to and go over as many times as you want. We'll get that link up and I'll get it to Sunshine so we can get it out to all of you. And I think that's the end. So I hope that was worth your time. Thank you for having us.